Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Position Focus here at CycloneFanatic.com. Austen Arnaud, Chris Williams here, going position by position, looking ahead to the 2013 Iowa State football season. Today's topic of conversation, the offensive line. The ever so important offensive line, I think, Austin. This is it's a position where the longer I do this, the more I realize, one, it's unpredictable, two, there's so much more to it than what the random casual guy knows about. I mean, you know a lot about that. I mean, how would you gauge, though? We'll start with last year. Because the offensive line got beat up last year. I mean, if you went on Cyclone Fanatic, I mean, people were really critiquing the offensive line. Was it as bad as people thought? I think that they go up. I think that they improve this year. They find a way to get better.
Well, I think, and that was definitely a focal point of the offseason with Coach Rhodes, going out and getting Coach K out of Nevada. And is he Nevada or Utah State?
Nevada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he brings a different dimension, and that's something that, Coach Blau is now the tight ends coach, and those two are going to work together. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
This is a position that has got to get better. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of things go into this. Running backs missing a cut, missing a hole, quarterbacks taking too long to throw the ball, not making the right decision. There's a lot of things that go into how the offensive line is perceived.
He actually came from Arkansas.
Oh.
But he was previously from Nevada, and that's kind of what made him famous. I think you start when you talk about this position group with Tom Farniok.
Yep.
I think future pro.
I think so too. I mean, he continues to pack that weight on, and hopefully he can get a couple magic inches here at the end of his college career.
The key too, Shaban Dika's out. We know about that from the spring. I think what's important here is just relative health, though, from the whole group. Because a guy like Jacob Gannon and a guy like Kyle Lichtenberg, I think they're fine at tackle. Yeah. I think if guys start dropping and you've got to move them to the inside, I think that's when you're going to start experiencing problems with Iowa State's offensive line. The good news is, though, that I'm looking at a Daniel Burton. I'm looking at a Brock Daigle, Jamison Locke.
Right.
Guys we don't really know anything about, but they've been in the program for multiple years. This is not like the old days where Aaron Brandt has to start as a true freshman as left tackle on offensive line. You know what I mean? These guys have been through Yancey McKnight's system, which makes it encouraging if they have to see the field.
Yeah, and it's a great thing that Yancey McKnight was an offensive lineman in college, and he takes care of these guys. I mean, he knows what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like, how you're supposed to do things as a big guy, how to put on weight, how to lose weight, how to do all things the right way. And that's why, along with McKnight, Coach K, Coach Blau, these guys have a great backing for themselves to be successful. I like Farniok, Tufte, Lichtenberg. Those three are the ones that are set in stone. Gannon, he's played all over the place, it seems like. And also behind Gannon, you have Brock Daigle, who I've heard great things.
He's a big dude.
He's a big kid. He's physical. He moves well. That's what we recruited him. He moves well.
6'8", 297.
And he can run.
But that 6'8", he looks like a monster if you just see him.
He does.
He physically looks bigger than the other guys.
Yeah.
So I think that frame there, who knows? He could potentially turn himself into a pro.
I think so too, and I think he's going to play more than a lot of people think this year, just because, likelihood of someone getting hurt is very likely on the offensive line. Those guys are battling every game, and it wouldn't be a bad thing to see Brock Daigle kind of step in. And I think he's a guy that maybe has a potential to do both right and left as he progresses as a player, but definitely someone that's good to have in the 2D for sure.
I didn't get to see a lot, but from what I saw of spring ball, this Chris Klanakis, man, he's a go-getter.
Yeah.
He is he's very different than Bill Blisle.
Yeah.
Bill Blisle is, quite frankly, one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. Very chill. And you can see, Rhodes, he kind of shuffled the cards on the offensive lineman in the offseason. Have you heard anything about Klanakis?
Well, yeah, I went to a couple practices in the spring and saw it firsthand. Nothing against Coach Blau.
We love Coach Blau.
Coach K is an absolute technician. He's got these guys, obviously Coach Blau was doing the same thing, but he's having these guys, kind of understand more of what they need to be doing and a greater understanding of, how they need to play. And then you got to play physical all the time. And, as an offensive lineman, you got to be a dirty kid to play. And that's what the good ones are. You think back to Colicchio, Semele, Reggie Stevens, guys that are still playing in the NFL. Those guys are dirty players. They took advantage of every single snap. And I think that's the mentality that has been conveyed, but even more so now is what's going to continue to happen from Iowa State offensive linemen.
You got Reggie Stevens, you got Hayworth Hicks, Kelechi Osemele, and Carter Bykowski just got drafted,
Yep.
which pat ourselves in the back. I think we predicted that one a year ago, and a lot of people rolled their eyes at us.
Swing tackle.
But that's 4 offensive linemen from Iowa State currently in the National Football League.
Yeah, and you look at guys like, I don't think of Carter and Hayworth any less physical than KO and Reggie, but those guys were out to do it. And Carter and Hayworth are probably funny guys off the field.
Give me a good Kelechi Osemele story.
Oh, I mean, which one would you like to hear?
Yeah, because I've heard how nasty he is.
Every time, I mean, ask AJ Klein. They had a 3-year period with Kelechi where they didn't want to come. I mean, they didn't want to come to practice. And that's the thing. Kelechi would be, sweating, and he's just a big human being, and he was always getting second level and finding one of those two and putting them on their butt. And my most memorable moment with Kelechi, obviously the double pancake against Oklahoma State. I didn't play in that game. I was already graduated, but K-State on the goal line down at Arrowhead. I think the last time we played them down at Arrowhead, we ran an option to the left, and I just followed Kelechi. I mean, he took a linebacker into the back of the end zone, put him down, got on his face, and then just rubbed the full man rub all the way up top on him. Just
nice.
Feel the sweat a little bit, and it stank too.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of sweat coming down on you right there.
Oh, he's a big human being.
I'd never envy the guys, the equipment guys who have to wash the jerseys and wash the practice pads. Because I've been there. Like when we go and do interviews,
they've got some stories now too.
But it stinks, man.
Oh, it's terrible.
It stinks in that room.
Well, now with the new facility, they got brand new wash machines. They got
everything.
So hopefully now
everybody's getting pampered now.
Exactly.
Compared to the days when you were there.
It's still not a good situation to be messing with those dirty drawers.
No, I remember back in the good old days in the McCarney years where media could go to every practice basically and just stand there on that field that was right beside Jack Trice and just watch McCarney just cussing at you guys all the time and then there was no football facility at that time. You came back in and you just threw all those stinky clothes in a pile and they just went to town.
Yeah, nasty.
How did we get onto that topic?
Stink.
Interesting minds. We're going to talk tight ends next time, though. That's our position focus on the offensive line. Overall, you think it's better than last year? Think we've seen improvement?
Yes, I think we've seen improvement just because with the added experience of Farniok, Tufte, and Lichtenberg. This is a group that's set.
All right, you heard it here first. I'm excited about the tight end position. I'm pumped up about what the tight ends can bring this year. We're going to talk about them in our next position focus video at Cyclone Fanatic. He's Austin. I'm Chris. So long.